Question is, where the heck do I put it? Hello everybody, it's me, the Invertebrarian, and welcome back to the channel. I have upgraded myself from a small person's chair onto a grown-up's chair so you can see me a little better. Why I didn't think of this sooner? I guess that just says it all about me. Anyway, round 1, week 2 of Fatal Fangs is on the go. You have up until Friday to vote for your favourite feeding clip. If you go to the Invertebrarian Facebook page, there's a link to the clips for watching and of course to the voting page online, which will simplify it for yourselves. Week 1 is over and done with. We have our winners. Week 2 is on the go. So please go watch the feeding clips, then vote for your favourite feeding clip. Not your favourite channel, not your family member, not your best friend. Simply vote for your favourite feeding clip. Okay, so now on to this video. What we are looking at today is a couple of small gifts that were given to me from a friend of mine who is no longer able to look after them. So without further ado, let's go look at the first of these gifts, and it's pretty awesome. First of the small gifts, I say small, not so small, is of course these here. Now these are I think Blabaris discoidalis, might or might not be correct. Now I was led to believe these were death head cockroaches. However, I think these are actually the ones that are known as the false death head cockroach. The actual death head cockroach, if I can pick this fella up here, is much brighter in coloration up around here with a beautiful orange colour, which is what leads me to believe that these are in fact the false death head cockroach. These are native to South America, can be found in Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Trinidad and Tobago and Florida, but to name a probable few. As I mentioned, they're often mistaken for the false death head cockroach due to this very similar markings, although as I've said, these are paler, more brown and lack this bright orange coloration I believe the death head cockroaches have. I'm pretty sure you will agree those cockroaches are friggin' awesome. I was surprised just how big they are. I had no idea they got quite so big. Hopefully I will be able to develop them into a nice big colony. They will not live in that little plastic container, that is merely what they're delivered in. Hopefully they'll grow into a nice big colony and not only provide a really interesting pet, but also some spare for feeding clips. It's also said they're not very good at climbing smooth surfaces, which also makes them an ideal and simplifies keeping them as pets. But anyhow, now on to the second gift, which is creating a bit of an issue for me, because as the very beginning / intro part of this video suggested, I just don't know where I'm going to put it. This is the enclosure it arrived in. I'm doing my best not to catch a huge amount of reflections, but it is quite difficult because it's a glass box. Okay, so as you can see, we're using tongs, so that might give some indication as to what or who we are. Yeah, it's going to be a who, isn't it? We are dealing with, and there we go. I think it's safe to say I could probably just grab that out there and just look at this brute. Beautiful! Super danger death noodle! Okay, we'll try offering this Upendra Dahani a wee feed and see if it's interested. Possibly not. I was hoping to get a nice awesome feeding clip. They're generally good feeders, although this one could be coming up for a molt. Now, for anyone who hasn't watched my very early videos on centipede care, when a centipede molts, they do require to be able to eat their molt. It's packed full of nutrients, goodness, and it's generally a case of if they do not consume their molt, is almost a certain death penalty for centipedes. So if you see a centipede molt, please, please, please do not remove the molt. Highly important. They are given the opportunity to eat it. Sorry about the rather shaky camera there. So what do we need to know about the Scolopendra dahani? First of all, they are known as the Vietnamese centipede. They are very large, can be very aggressive, and reach upward of around 8 inches. So they can be very big centipedes indeed. The venom from these guys is medically significant. Now that does not mean you're going to require medical treatment if you suffer a bite. However, it will hurt. It is said that the dahani has the worst bite of all the giant centipede species. So please do not randomly go trying to pick up your Scolopendra dahani. It is also not suggested as a beginner species, although I will confess they are the first species of giant centipede I ever kept. However, I digress. I have a lot of experience with a number of exotics, and I had the confidence to keep a Scolopendra dahani. If you do not have the confidence, if it is your first centipede, perhaps think about a different species beforehand before moving on to a Scolopendra dahani. As said, the venom is medically significant. Does not necessarily mean you will need to rush to the hospital suffering a bite. However, you will probably have severe pain, sweating, headaches, nausea, and probably cramps and other symptoms you really don't want to experience. So as said, just don't put yourself in that situation. Keep a distance. As the name suggests, they are found in Vietnam. They are the Vietnamese giant centipede, but they're also found throughout tropic and subtropic regions, but are predominantly found in southern Asia. And I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. I think this locust just has an absolute death wish. I don't even know what's happening right now. This is just madness. Look at this. Absolute madness. Okay, so it's decided to climb up on top of this enclosure. Now we're looking at probably around 5.5, 6 inch maybe leg, and this is what length. And this is what I find quite interesting. Now this Scolopendra and this Scolopendra are both from the same litter. Now this one I have kept, and this one I gave away to a friend. But as we can see, this one is about twice the size of this one. Now both are grown well, both are eating well, both seem healthy and happy and active peds. Mine perhaps at this precise moment in time more so than this one. So given that they're both from the same mother, they are brother, sister, 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 brother, brother, whatever combination or whatever they care to identify with, these are the same centipede. So what interests me is the fact that one is much larger than the other. So has this one been overfed? Has this one been underfed? Is there something to do with the diet that I have been keeping mine and he has been keeping his on that has created this size? Will this one then have a shorter lifespan than this one, or has this one not developed as well as this one? So for me this is going to be quite interesting to see, because both are now back in my care. Both, as I say, appear to be very healthy, happy centipedes. As I say, this one seems to be a wee bit more active. Yeah, I'm quite interested. I'm very intrigued by this. Here we have it, some cockroaches and a Scolopendra dahani, which has actually come back to me after I gave it away to a friend of mine. The question is, why is his so much bigger than mine? Why has his Scolopendra grown in a way that mine doesn't appear to? If it is just natural, do some like me and my brothers. I am a short butt compared to my brothers. They are all much taller than me. Is it just natural in genetics? Is it a case of how he has kept us? Is it humidity, feeding regimes, feeding patterns, or feeding choice? I would like to know your thoughts, your feelings. any input. Are you a breeder? Have you witnessed this one offspring growing much bigger than another offspring? It's interesting to me because I had no idea that the one coming back to me was going to be so big in comparison to the one I kept myself, which is regularly fed, regularly watered, kept at the right temperatures, kept at the right humidity. For all intents and purposes, is a very happy, healthy centipede. However, in comparison, it's tiny. So, who knows? But it's going to be interesting to see how they do moving forward. Is mine going to live longer because it's still got much further stages of development and growth to go? Or is it going to have a shorter life because it's not developed at the rate the other one has? Only time will tell, I suppose. Yeah, interesting. But anyway, that's it for this video. I was merely wanting to show off the cockroaches and the new centipede which we have acquired. Absolutely awesome, really happy, and I will keep you posted on that. What's really left for me to say is, of course, check out Fatal Fangs. A huge thank you to Sam and Adam for developing this thing, and of course Reese and Scarlett for all the support they've lent and promoting and making it work, and just everything the four of them have done collectively to make this an amazing opportunity for myself and so many other YouTubers. So please do go watch the Fatal Fangs, get involved, vote, watch, subscribe to the channels and all that. And with saying that, please, if this is the first time you've come to my channel, please do subscribe. It means the world to me that people watch my content. Hopefully you've learned a few wee bits of information about the cockroaches and the skull of Upendra. And if you like more, obviously I can do a more in-depth video on them. Please do just pop the comments down below. I love and always try and acknowledge and read and communicate with the people leaving the comments. But anyway, prattling on. So it's a goodbye from me, and thank you ever so much. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye. Bye-bye.